wonderful book world. It's Olivia here from Olivia's Catastrophe, as always, and I'm here to give you my September book haul. Woohoo! So, unlike the book haul last month, quite a while ago, I had a huge ton of books because I did a lot of book shopping. So this month I thought I'm going to quiet it down. I'm not going to buy as many books because what I really want to start doing is reading more of the books that I already have. Nonetheless, it doesn't mean I didn't buy anything because you know me. That is not an option. So I've still bought a couple of books this month and I've received some other ones. And yeah, I got quite a few books for review on ebook, but I keep those on the book blog so you won't be hearing about those ones. Sorry. So now I'm going to give you the book haul, but before we start with the book haul, I want to show you something that's actually really cool. Slovenia! Well, this is a tank top and it's bright orange, which is my favourite colour. It's got green lettering, which is my second favourite colour, and it's in Cambria font, which is my favourite font to use for everything. And my friend, who I know in real life, lives really nearby me, got me this because she actually went to Slovenia. Now, when she said she was going to Slovenia, I freaked out. I don't know anything about Slovenia. I know literally nothing about Slovenia. I couldn't even tell you, well, I could probably tell you where it is on the map, but I couldn't tell you much more than that, like the culture, what's it about, like what is things you can see there. I don't know nothing. I know nothing. All I know is the title and where it is, and ever since then I've decided that I'm in love with Slovenia. I should probably learn more about it, but I've got this awesome Slovenia shirt to wear meanwhile. Thank you to my friend who probably would rather stay nameless. I really love it. On to the books. So, as my friend has also been travelling, I also went to Paris because my older sister is moving there this year for a year of her university course. And we went to Paris and we did so much things. We saw all the things and it was really lovely. By the time this post has gone up, I'll have my update on my blog with all the things we did in Paris. I'm going to link that below so you can check it out and you can see all the amazing things that we did. And one of those things we did was go to Shakespeare and Company. I really wanted to go there because it's so famous, and I said if we're going to Paris we are definitely going to Shakespeare and Co. And we did. It's a really lovely cute little bookstore with loads and loads of books, like a wide array from classics to poetry to just a little bit of everything, and I just loved it. And while I was there I picked up 3 books. You know me, I'm a bargain reader, so I'm not really used to paying the full proper price for books sometimes, but I do, and I just picked up books. I had a lot in my hands, but I only wanted to buy 3 there because, as I said, I'm limiting how much I buy, so I only bought 3 books, which I'm happy I managed to achieve. And I was picking up a lot and putting down a lot, but finally I settled on 3 books, which I'm going to show to you right now. The first one is World War Z by Max Brooks. I think it's actually supposed to be said World War Z. I'm not American, I'm British, so I naturally go World War Z. But on all the advertisements and everything for the movie, because there is a movie of this one, I always say World War Z, so I'm just going to be American for a bit and say World War Z. So this book is World War Z by Max Brooks, and from what I've gathered from the back, which doesn't tell me much, at first it just seems like there's a revolution going on, a bit of criminal activity, but then they find out that it's much worse than they expected, and that there's some like zombie apocalypse thing going on, man-eating, festering stuff, and it just sounds creepy, scary, and the movie looks really good. So I would like to read this one, and then I'm going to watch the movie. When I do that, I'll have some reviews up for both of them for you, and it just sounds really cool. I know the book is really popular, so I was like, I'm going to try this one, especially as I don't read many zombie, creepy books. I don't really read creepy books much, so I've been trying to change that, and that's why I picked this one up. And then we have The Miniaturist by Jessie Burton. I've seen this one in a lot of places. It's really popular. When it came out, it was all over the blog sphere, and I just know it's really popular. But there is one cover of this book that I really don't like. I didn't like that cover. And I've seen it in bookshops before, and I really wanted to read it, but I saw that cover on all of them, and I was like, can't buy this right now. But in Shakespeare and Co. they had this lovely cover, and I like it a lot more than the other one. It's set in 1686, and what happens is this girl gets gifted a miniature version of somebody else's house, and while she's living in Amsterdam, she's just relocated to Amsterdam, lots of sinister things starts happening to her and to the people that she's connected with. And as she discovers the secrets of her household, she realizes that the miniaturist versions of things could unlock the key to whatever is happening. So it sounds like it's an interesting mystery. The synopsis, the blurb, does not give much away, but I am planning to find out what this one is all about. Then we have Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. He has recently released another book which is called Armada, I really don't know how to say it, but that one's a really new one. This is his older one, and I've just heard too many things about how wonderful this book is, so I was going to get it already. I actually, right before I left to Paris, I read this brilliant review of this book by Joy at the blog Joyous Reads, link to her blog below. I follow it by email, I love it, I read it all the time, and I'd seen so many reviews of this one in the blog sphere when I just read blogs, and her review just was like, that's it, I'm getting this book already. It'd been on my to be read for a while, but I needed it in my life. So I have it now. This one is set in the world of 2044, and it's in the future, and what's happened is the world is rubbish. Climate change and all the stuff that we say is going to happen, it happened, okay? Devastation, hunger is all over the world, but there is this virtual reality, which is like a video game that you can immerse your whole self in, which is called Oasis, and there's like 10,000 planets there, and it's just a huge world, and it was created by somebody who dies, and that person has left a secret lottery ticket. It's like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory's Willy Wonka golden ticket, you know, to get into their like really special lottery type of thing, where he's left some clues and riddles, and anybody who can solve them and get to the like prize thing, not quite sure what it is, they can have all his riches and just claimage of Oasis and all the money that it's spurned in all its time. So basically everybody wants to do that, and what happens is this character called Wade stumbles across the first clue by chance to puzzle his way to get to the key factor, and after that people catch on to it, and he's running in this competition to be the one to actually win. So that sounds interesting. I'm not into video games at all, unless you can count playing Sims on my computer sometimes, yeah, and on my DS. That's as far as my video gaming goes. So it just sounds so interesting, and it's been compared. I don't know if comparisons are a thing you like, you don't like. Personally, I don't mind them, but it's been compared to Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card, and I just love that book like crazy. It's one of my favourite books of all time, so of course other three books that I got from Shakespeare & Co. And Shakespeare & Co. actually does this lovely thing where with every book you get a bookmark and option to get your book stamped. So I got all of mine stamped, which means it has a Shakespeare & Company stamp on it. And being the huge book nerd that I am, I even kept the Shakespeare & Co. bag, because on the back it has this lovely quote. Okay, the next book I got was a book for review. They only accepted one physical book for reviews. I mostly got ebooks this month, and the one that I accepted was Developing Minds by Jonathan LaPoma. And this one, it like sells itself as a ghost story, but it's not actually a ghost story. It's a book about the American school system. Now, you hear a lot of rumors about the American school system, how rubbish it is, makes people want to commit suicide, blah de blah blah blah. Not as good quality as other ones. You know, I just hear bad things about the American school system, and I don't think that should be how it is. And of course, when it comes to Hollywood movies, you've got the cliques going on, and you've got all these stereotypes. I've never been to school in America because I'm British. But I've never been to school in America, so I've always wondered how true the stereotypes are. And this is a book that claims to be true to the American school system. It's based on a teacher who is teaching. He's just finished university, he's just been thrown into a public school, and he's a writer, and he finds that his like creative juices dry up as soon as he gets to the school, and he's really struggling to be a teacher here because it's just such a bad public school. I know what you're thinking, Olivia, why did you pick this one up when you're fed up of hearing about how bad American schools are? Very, very good question. I don't know, but I'm still looking forward to it. Okay, the next three books are secondhand books, and I got them for free for some reason or the other. It's called The White Lie by Andrea Gillies? Don't know. And it's actually her debut novel. It's probably an old read, and as far as I can gather, it's about this family, and a death happens, but the aunt in the family claims to have drowned that person. So what this family do, they're a pretty famous family, they close down all the media, everything, no memorial service, nothing. They don't want to out that the aunt has supposedly claimed to have drowned this family member. But as time goes on, they all end up in one house and they start to unravel little white lies and other lies which might turn the pointing finger of who done it and why it happened to someone else than the aunt who claimed to have drowned this family member. And the reason for why she is drowning, she claimed to have drowned this family member when she might not have, is also very interesting. So it just sounds like there's a whole mystery kind of thing going on here, and then it really dives into the characters. So I was like, it's free and it sounds really interesting. Why ever not? And then I picked up Saucer by Stephen Koontz for free, and I recognise this author's name. I don't have a book by this author, but it sounds really interesting because it's kind of like a sci-fi thriller action kind of thing. What happens is they find a piece of metal, or someone finds a piece of metal in space, and he wants to look into it because apparently it's a UFO. So he's like, what? I want to look at this UFO, because if we find a UFO, frankly, what else would we do? So he's got this UFO, he wants to look into it, but it turns out the US Air Force have also just discovered his secret that he's found this UFO kind of thing, and they want in on it too. So there's this race to get to the saucer and figure out what it's all about. This one is called Cure for Life by Bernard Palmer. It's a really small book. It was free, so I thought, why not? And it's Christian. Not really Christian fiction, but Christian non-fiction. It's about a series of discussions about what it means to be a Christian, why you should be a Christian, why shouldn't you be a Christian maybe. It's written by this couple. The husband in the couple is a surgeon, and while he was just working on his patients and they're asking him questions about his faith, he was answering them, and he found that the same questions were popping up again and again and again, so he decided to make a series of discussions in this book which just answers all those questions, and then next time they ask, he'll be like, here, read that and stop asking me questions, but in a nicer way. So the next 3 books are giveaway wins, and oh my goodness, they make me happy. So happy. You're gonna see why. The first one I have for you is Broken Skies by Teresa Kay, and I won this from Cookie Crisp's blog, link below. I'd read a review for this on a blog that I follow by email, and I just read so much by Benish. Benish is a lovely person, by the way, called Feminist Reflections. I'm going to link that below, throw it below there as well. And her review was just so outshining for this one, because this is one of those lesser known books, but Benish thought like more people should read it, and it does sound interesting because it is after a collapse that has just wiped out so many people in the world, and aliens have come onto Earth. There's 2 twins, Jace, and then there's also the tomboy Jay, and she and him are just like living together in one of the villages of survived humans. They're just living life until one of the aliens come into this village and they kidnap her twin brother. So she decides she's going to go out there and rescue him. But along the way, she comes across this guy, and them two together end up going to try and save the brother. Along the way, Jay discovers some things which might be life-changing for aliens and humans alike. The next book, you guys, is All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven. I've seen this book in so many places. I follow, again, another blog by email called Reviews from a Bookworm, run by Carnell, and she just wrote the most outstanding review for this book. And after seeing that first outstanding review, I just saw outstanding reviews all over the blogosphere, and I was like, I need this book in my life. I added it to my to be read, and I thought, I can't buy any more books because I've just limited myself, and I just prayed to the bookish people above me to send me this book. And then what happened was I won a giveaway on Of Stacks and Cups blog. It's run by Sauter. Again, she's a really lovely person. I've known her since she started blogging. Link to her blog below. You should definitely check it out. I think you can get by now that I'm interested in a lot of blogs. But I won a giveaway to choose a book from the book depository under a certain price and blah 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 blah. All the Bright Places fit into that price, and I just thought I have to get this book because it is about Violet and Finch. What happens is Violet is devastated after the death of her sister, as anybody would be, and Finch is someone who's just fed up with his life and he can't take it anymore. He's given up. So what happens is these 2 characters meet on the ledge of their school tower building, and they're both just about to take their life, and they have a connection because they both want to know why the other person is there. So what happens is they start talking and all this, and Violet starts to learn how to live through Finch's sorrow. and Violet is starting to fall in love with him. But the problem is, as Violet's life grows bigger and better through this love and just through knowing him, Finch's life has started to shrink. So we don't know what happens after that, which is why you have to read this book. And I've heard that people have been just crying out their eyes after reading it, and I still don't know if they've been crying from frustration, sadness, or happiness. So when I embark on this book, it is going to be quite the journey. I won another one of the same sort of giveaway on It's a Book's Life blog. Link below. Gonna be a lot of links down there. And it was a book from the book depository, and she gave me a list I could choose from. And The Wrath and the Dawn. Renee Adia was one of the options, and I needed this book in my life. If you know me, you know that I am crazy about retellings. Some of my favourite retellings are The Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer, Cinderella by Kelly Oram, or Never Never by Brianna Shrum, which is a retelling of Peter Pan, recently released or going to be released. Just amazing. So, retelling. This book is a retelling. We are going to be best buddies. It's a retelling of 1001 Nights, which is a story where, you know, the king is marrying different women every day, and the next morning they wake up and they are hanged because, I don't know why, because he does that. But in this one, after he hangs this girl's best friend, she decides she's going to volunteer to be his wife, and she's going to put a stop to this killing. She's going to find a way. But as she's telling him stories to keep him interested in her, she starts to fall in love with him because there's more to him than she thought. So, if you look at the pages down the side, they're like deckled, and it's beautiful. Now for the last two books, thanks for bearing on this long, but what happened was I was walking in town with my friends, and my friend was like, I've got a Book and Bon, and a Book and Bon is the same friend who bought me the Slovenia shirt. A Book and Bon is like a book gift card, and I was like, to where? Because since I live in the Netherlands, in our shopping centre, there's not really a good English bookstore that I've discovered yet, and she goes, to that one, and it was in the place where there used to be a bookstore, but that bookstore closed down, so it was like a replacement bookstore. And I was like, okay, let's go look. And my friend didn't buy anything with her book certificate, but I bought 2 new books. The English section in that bookstore is a lot better than I thought it was. Mostly, when I go to English bookstores in the Netherlands, in small, like, living places, the books that are in English are old books, books that I've already read, books I don't really want to read, and none of the, like, new releases or the really popular ones. But this one, it just had a good stock. First one is The Sky is Everywhere by Jandy Nelson, and this paperback copy was the last one with blue pages. This was the last one that had blue pages and all the rest had white, so I thought, I do have this one on my to-be-read list, so I might as well buy it now and read it with blue pages. And this one is about Lenny, who is a girl whose sister just died, and she's supposed to be grieving and mourning, but she actually finds herself falling in love for the first time with 2 people. I know, this book is centered around a love triangle, and you don't love love triangles, Olivia. What on earth are you doing? Olivia, again, a brilliant question. You always ask such wise questions. I have no answer, but this book still sounds like it's going to be a good read. The book I picked up, it was jolly well time. I tried a book from this author. Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. I actually have heard so much about her book, Eleanor Park, and her other ones, so I thought it's about time that I pick up a book by this author, and I've had this one on my to-be-read for a long time. It's about twins who are going to university, and they are used to doing everything together. While one twin wants to go off and live their own separate life in university, Kath is more of an introvert, she's struggling, and she wants to spend all of her time on her laptop here, writing her fan fiction, which is a romance where, like, amazing things happen in it that never really happened to her. So she's a fangirl. She's a fangirl. I'm a fangirl. She's a fangirl. You see the connection? But yeah, I just need to try a book by this best-selling author already. I will try Eleanor Park at some point, because I do want to try that one, but Fangirl comes first, just because I feel like I might enjoy it more. That's all the books that I have for you, this book haul. It's been a long book haul. Really long. Thank you for watching if you've watched to this point, and please tell me in the comments below, what new books have you been buying? Do you like books where the pages are a bit different, like in The Wrath and the Dawn? Or do you like books where the pages outside are, like, coloured? Anything special about a book that might make you itch to buy it a bit more, then let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next week with another video. Bye! The next book, you guys, is Owl. This covers, like, it's the hello there, wonderful. What? Where's my? And it's in Cambria tongue twister. Rainbow Floral. Fangirl by Rainbow. It's too hot in here. I'm sweating like crazy.